And Bernard, what are the kinds of things that you look for when you're hiring employees?
First of all, let me say that human resource is probably by far the most significant asset of any good business. It doesn't really matter what business you're in. You really need to have the right people, the good people to run a business. And it doesn't matter how good a business is. If you don't have good people, the right people, the business will go down the toilet. Yeah. But if you have the right people, no matter how bad things are, you can count it's going to turn around. Yeah. In my organization, I put a lot of emphasis in bringing the right people for the right job. And I would hate to say that I look for specific type of people, but that's not what we look for. But we define a job, and then we look for people who we think are the right people for the right job. And different job require different type of skill, different fundamentals, and different personality. And an example is, you don't really want an accountant to act like a salesperson or vice versa, but the two different skills, two different situations. And people obviously is very important, but I don't think it's really fair to put everything on the shoulder of employee. And getting the right people, the right job is getting half the mission accomplished. I mean, the other half is really starting from the leadership, how the leadership set a right theme for the organization so that people have some model, have something to follow. But if you don't manage people, good people could be out there goofing too. But if you put certain guidelines and you have the right ambient, even people who wasn't the best, a lot of time it turned out very good. And that's the kind of thing we like to emphasize on is, we don't like to hire and fire people, although once in a little while you have to do it. But it's not, I don't believe it's the way to run a business. I believe is take the right people and give them room to grow, give them opportunity to learn, and give them opportunity to make mistakes. Making mistakes is great, as long as they can learn from that. Yeah. And I think putting the right team together is very important, because no matter how capable someone is, there has to be a team player. They want to play game together. Yeah. And I think one of the things that I think in our organization we're done fairly well is really putting the right team together. And we spend a lot of time, for example, for the last few years, every year we will hire probably 10, 12 interns from BU, BC, Emerson, or Berkeley. We take them in the summer, we move them around to learn different departments, doing different jobs. And it's something that we think is very important to build an organization. Not only the intern get exposed to our company, and hopefully if they have a positive experience, they'll go back to school and tell all their friends, hey, look, First Aid, what a great company, I enjoy there, I love to work there. But also at the same time, what I found is sometimes the interns are very smart. They're looking at things from a whole different angle. A lot of time, we learn a lot from the intern. You believe it or not, you wouldn't think much about a sophomore or a junior from college that can teach us, and many times they do. We're nicely surprised time after time that many of interns can do a better job than a lot of us. Yeah. But at the end, I can tell you how important putting the right people in the right job is. It isn't to me, it's less about the individual. It's more about where we put them.